here today with Denise Gilmore, Senior Director of the Division of Social Justice and Racial Equity.
Hello, Marie, and I'm very excited that I'm here with Marie Sutton, the Public Information Officer for the City of Birmingham and the author of the A.G. Gaston Motel. Marie, you actually wrote the book on this motel, so I'm real excited to be here with you today and just to have an opportunity to talk about this motel and the meaning of the milestone that the city has reached in having the ability to reopen the motel for our residents.
Well, and I'm excited to be with you
Okay.
because I wrote the book, but you made sure that the motel could have its heyday again. So the doors are opening because you came into town on your white horse and you led the reconstruction and the revitalization of the motel. And so I feel like we're parents of sorts.
Well, we were able to do it because of the foundation that was laid.
That's right.
So we had the opportunity to build upon work that was done previous.
That's right.
Mainly creating the Birmingham Civil Rights National Monument. So we have so many people whose hands were in that, that we thank, from the prior administration to our Congresswoman Sewell and National Park Service, National Trust for Historic Preservation, the local civil rights district stakeholders who cared so deeply that this space would be preserved. So I always find it just fulfilling and an honor that I was able to take the baton from those who laid the foundation to help create the National Monument to now actually come and to work on the restoration and to be able to stand up the National Monument.
Oh,
so yes.
It's a great day.
It's a good baby for both of us.
That's right, awesome. And so we are now in the A.G. Gaston Motel. I mean, I remember when I wrote the book at the time, the windows were boarded up and, I think people were afraid to even pull on the door, but now look at this.
In fact, as you said that, you actually have to write another chapter to the book.
Definitely,
because
I gotta do
your
that.
book ends very sad.
It
It shows a derelict, dilapidated, just
it was sad. It was
forsaken motel.
Yeah.
And I think it would just be wonderful to have another chapter that shows this beautiful restoration. This motel is significant. We are here because of the work of Dr. A.G. Gaston.
Yes.
And his vision and his belief that, quite frankly, that Black people deserve to have lodging that afforded them dignity and respect.
Marie, can you ask where we are?
Mm-hmm. So where are we? I mean, I see the chairs and the counter. So where are we now?
Where we are standing now in the restored coffee shop. And you can see that it has been restored to its period of significance of 1963. And you'll know that because you'll see the Formica countertops.
Yeah.
You don't see those in kitchens anymore.
No.
No granite here. You see the actual linoleum. Don't see hardwood planks, right? And then the chairs and just the treatment of the wood. So we are in the coffee shop that was restored according to the Secretary of Interior standards. As you well know, for historic preservation project, that's what we look to in our restoration efforts. So the next step is to actually identify and locate a coffee shop operator. So we hope to have an operator on site soon. And you'll be able to come, Marie, and take a break at lunchtime and come over and have a cup of coffee or tea and just sit here and just feel the presence of the spirit and the presence of Dr. Gaston.
Oh, I can't wait to do that. I love that. And when I think about the coffee shop, so many folks, I remember in one of the stories I wrote, their first time having crushed ice or having certain drinks was here in the Gaston Motel. So I think when people walk in, it's just going to be so much nostalgia. So I'm really excited for the residents to come in and see and be triggered and say, oh my gosh, I remember this was the place where I had my Coca-Cola with the fresh crushed ice. and the coffee and all that. So it's going to be a fun time.
And I also remember reading stories that people shared that it was the first time they could sit at a lunch counter and be treated with dignity and respect. And so when we juxtapose that with what was going on downtown and Black people not being permitted to sit at the lunch counters at the various restaurants that this was a welcoming place.
And that's in keeping with the spirit of A.G. Gaston while we're standing in this exhibition, creating a place for us where we can go and feel welcomed and, you know, and hold your head up high and look outside a building that has the name of a Black man emblazoned across the front. So what a great thing.
And particularly if we go back to Dr. Gaston's principles that started with
you got it right here.
A need and feel it.
Yes.
And he basically built this multi-million-dollar empire by doing just that. Now, granted, in the 1950s, Black people needed all services because we were not welcome in the white establishments. So he was able to not only build this motel, but banks, funeral homes, insurance companies,
radio stations,
his Booker T. Washington Institute, everything to help Black people get educated, to be able to earn a living and take care of their families, and basically to have what we would now consider a middle-class lifestyle.
That's right. And what a tribute that you have helped to lead and create in this exhibit dedicated to A.G. Gaston. Well, you think we can check out the courtyard?
Yeah,
Let's do it. Oh, wow. Look, the courtyard. Oh, my goodness. Think about all the history that took place
That's right here. So the courtyard, that again, we're standing in this courtyard, and if we just stop right here, Marie, we're actually standing in the footsteps of the foot soldiers that stood right here in this space and got instructions on the strategy of Project C.
That's right. Yeah.
From Dr. King and Reverend Shuttlesworth and Reverend A.D. King. And if we stand and just look right up there at the war room, room 30.
That's where King, he was there, he slept there, he had his meetings there. I mean, I see that as hallowed ground, actually.
It is absolutely. I think this entire space is just sacred ground.
It is.
Just for what it represented, not only in the 1963 movement, but just in the fact in 1954 that this was a place that welcomed Black people. To residents and visitors being able to come to this space and to be able to reconnect with this really beautifully restored motel.
Yes.
But I think it will bring back, as you shared earlier, just real nice memories of how this was a community gathering place. And they'll talk about the food that they ate in the restaurant and the musicians and the artists that they heard at the supper club.
That's right.
And I'm sure there's some things they won't be able to tell us about that happened here as well.
That's right.
But they'll have their memories.
Yes, and that's the beauty of this place. It has a place in the civil rights history, but also the history of the families here, the history of the residents here. So that is what makes it such a special place. Just, you know.
And I just think we owe a big debt of gratitude and thanks to Mayor Woodfin.
Oh yes.
For just making sure that this legacy continued.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful gift from the city of Birmingham to the residents of Birmingham and to all those visitors that will come to Birmingham to be able to see and experience this site.
It's exciting.